welcome to the Enchanted Journal. My name is Shannon, and today we're getting into another spooky Halloween episode. In the shadowy realm of Japanese mythology, where demons roamed and terror was etched on every face, there existed a creature so malevolent its very presence sent shivers down the spines of even the bravest warriors. The Oni, a master of unspeakable evil, was sent to dwell in the depths of caves and atop treacherous mountain peaks. Emily trudged along the dusty mountain path, her backpack weighing heavily on her shoulders as she gazed out at the breathtaking scenery unfolding before her. The crisp autumn air carried the whispers of ancient forests, drawing Emily deeper into the mystery of rural Japan. As she walked, the trees grew taller, casting long shadows across the ground, and the silence was broken only by the occasional chirping of birds. Suddenly, Emily spotted a small village nestled among the trees, smoke drifting lazily from the chimneys. Emily's eyes scanned the village, taking in the quaint buildings and the people going about their daily business. Her gaze landed on a small shop with a faded sign, creaking in the gentle breeze. Curios and antiques. The store seemed out of place among the modern buildings, and Emily felt an inexplicable pull towards it. She pushed open the creaky door and stepped inside, surrounded by the musty scent of old books and dust. The shopkeeper, an elderly man with kind eyes, looked up from behind the counter and smiled warmly at her. The air was thick with the scent of old books and dust, and shelves stretched all the way to the ceiling, packed tightly with strange and exotic items. Emily's fingers trailed over the spines of ancient books, feeling an inexplicable sense of wonder and excitement. The shopkeeper's warm smile put Emily at ease, despite the feeling of unease that came with being so far from home. As she browsed the shelves, her eyes landed on a worn leather journal tucked away between two larger books. The cover was embossed with strange symbols that seemed to shimmer in the dim light, and Emily felt an inexplicable pull towards it. The journal seemed to be out of place among the other items. Its strange symbols and markings evoked a sense of intrigue and mystery. Emily carefully pulled it from the shelf, blowing off the dust that had accumulated on its surface. As she opened the cover, a faint whisper seemed to echo through the pages, carrying with it secrets and stories from a distant past. The pages were yellowed with age, and the ink was fading, but the words within leapt off the page, telling a tale of horror and legend from a land far removed from Emily's own. She settled into a nearby chair, running her fingers over the intricate covers, feeling the weight of history beneath her touch. Deciding to purchase the old worn journal, Emily handed it to the shopkeeper, who wrapped the journal in a piece of cloth and handed it to Emily, his eyes sparkling with a knowing glint. She takes the journal and steps outside into the crisp mountain air, feeling an inexplicable pull to retreat deeper into the forest with her newfound treasure. The trees seem to close in around her as she walks, their branches tangled overhead to form a canopy of leaves. Emily wandered into the clearing, her footsteps quiet on the soft earth. The trees seemed to lean in, their leaves rustling softly in the breeze. A ring of mushrooms grew at the edge of the clearing, their caps glowing with a soft, ethereal light. In the center of the clearing stood a massive tree, its branches twisted and gnarled with age. Emily settled beneath its boughs, the journal cradled in her lap as she began to read. The journal's pages turned slowly, releasing whispers of ancient stories into the evening air. Emily's eyes moved over the lines, devouring the words as the forest around her grew quieter. The mushroom's soft glow seemed to intensify, casting an eerie light on the pages, as if drawing her deeper into the tale. The words on the page danced in front of Emily, painting vivid pictures in her mind. She felt the presence of the forest creatures around her, their eyes fixed on her as she read, yet somehow she felt safe. The journal's secrets seemed to unfold before her, whispering tales of forgotten rituals and ancient magic that lingered in the shadows of the forest. The Oni's presence sent shivers down Emily's spine. Its appearance seemed to jump off the pages, its demonic face leering from the pages of the journal, the creature's horns and sharp teeth gleaming in the soft mushroom light from the pages. As Emily read on, the Oni's violent energy wrapped itself around her, drawing her deeper into its dark realm. The Oni's twisted form seemed to seep into Emily's mind, its dark essence spreading like a stain. She read on, captivated by the ancient tales of the creature's cruelty and power. The forest around her was beginning to grow darker, as if the Oni's presence was drawing the light out of the world, leaving only shadows and fear. According to Japanese folklore, the Oni is typically depicted as red or blue-skinned, and he is an ogre, with sharp horns, sharp teeth, and a cruel grin. Its body is often muscular and imposing, with razor-sharp claws for hands. Some tales describe the Oni as having multiple limbs, adding to its terrifying appearance. Its presence is said to foretell disaster, famine, or war. The journal describes the Oni as a creature born from humanity's darkest desires, its existence fueled by the negative emotions it feeds upon. It preys on the weak-willed, corrupting their souls and turning them against each other. According to legend, the Oni's spirit is forged into the depths of Jigoku, a hellish realm where the darkest aspects of human nature reside, and it rises from the ashes of those who lived wicked lives, driven by malice and cruelty. The dark energy emanating from the pages seemed to pulse with a malevolent life of its own, as if it were a living thing. According to ancient lore, creatures like the Oni were born of evil men's souls, forged into the depths of Buddhist hell, where darkness and suffering reigned supreme. Its presence was said to corrupt and destroy all that was good, feeding on the negative emotions that fueled its existence. The journal spoke of the Oni's mastery over the darker aspects of magic. Its power is born from the shadows and fueled by a deep and sinister force. In 1895, a monk stepped out of the temple, the wooden creak of the door echoing through the stillness. Before him, the Oni stood tall, its eyes glowing like lanterns in the darkness. Surprised, startled, and with blind instinct, the monk tried to flee. But the forest was a labyrinth of shadows impossible to navigate. Panic set in as he stumbled, and with a burst of adrenaline, he scrambled up a nearby tree, branches scratching at his robes like skeletal fingers. The Oni's roar echoed through the forest. Its deep growls sent shivers through the monk's spine as it gave chase, its footsteps thundering against the earth. The tree creaked ominously beneath the monk's weight as he climbed higher, desperate to escape the monster. The Oni's massive frame pounded through the underbrush, its deep growl sending tremors through the air. In one massive hand it grasped a thick wooden club, its wooden surface worn smooth by its years of use. The monk's fingers dug into the rough bark, finding handholds in his panic. He finds a shallow branch to sit on, holding a silver dagger tightly in his other hand. Retrieving it from the pockets of his robe, he waited, ready to defend himself. Pure silver, the only thing known to defeat an Oni. The Oni emerges from the darkness, its club-wielding form illuminated by the faint moonlight filtering through the canopy as it sniffs the air, searching for the hidden monk. The Oni's immense strength sent shockwaves through the earth as it gripped the tree trunk, attempting to rip it from the ground. But the ancient tree's roots had grown deep into the earth, refusing to yield to the Oni's fury. The monk held tight, his knuckles white as he clung to the branch, watching in awe as the Oni strained against the tree. The Oni's expression twisted into rage as it attempted to possess the tree, its dark energy coursing towards the ancient wood. but the tree's sacred essence pushed back, repelling the Oni's invasion and protecting the monk who clung to its branches. The air around them seemed to vibrate with the struggle between light and darkness. The Oni's body began to contort and stretch, its limbs elongating into twisted arachnid appendages, and its shape shifted into a gargantuan spider. Its massive club struck the tree once more, but the monk stood firm, the silver dagger flashing in the faint moonlight. As the giant spider began crawling up to strike and poison the monk, he held the dagger high and plunged it deep into the spider's abdomen. Yellowish liquid began flowing from the spider's abdomen and goo running down the tree, covering the monk in its slime. According to ancient lore, silver holds the key to repelling Oni. This precious metal seems to resonate with an otherworldly frequency, disrupting the Oni's dark energies and rendering it vulnerable. The silver dagger serves as a potent talisman against the Oni's supernatural powers. Its metallic purity is said to be toxic to the Oni, weakening its shape-shifting abilities and forcing it to retreat. As the Oni dissipated into nothingness, the monk couldn't shake the feeling that his luck had been due to the creature's limited magical abilities. As a product of its masculine nature, ancient tales whispered that female Oni were far rarer, yet infinitely more powerful, possessing a mastery over the dark arts that would leave even the bravest warriors quaking in fear. The monk pondered the strange encounter, his mind racing with questions. Why did the Oni target him specifically? And what unknown forces might be driving its malevolent intentions? As Emily sat under the gnarled branches of the tree, wondering if this was the very tree from the journal, a grotesque frog emerged from the shadows, hopping along the grass. Its skin slick and glistening like wet stone. Its eyes, dark and hollow, seemed to draw her in. She had never seen a frog quite like it. Suddenly, with a sickening crack, the frog began to swell, its body contorting and bubbling, as if transformed. And so the transformation began, as horns and teeth grew out of the frog, and it transformed into the blue Oni. Sounds of cracking bones and thunderous roars shook the tree and the ground. The air grew thick with dread as it twisted its form loomed over Emily, a sinister grin stretching across its face, revealing rows of sharp teeth. With a terrifying roar, it lunged forward, the Oni in one swoop, swallowing Emily whole. Nothing left but the cursed journal and the horror it contained. As the story concludes, the journal becomes a vessel for the Oni's cursed energy, a tangible reminder of its malevolent presence that refuses to fade. Its dark magic lingers, waiting to seep into the minds of those who dare to touch its forbidden knowledge. The journal's dark magic seems to sense an unsuspecting soul, drawn to its forbidden knowledge. Will it claim another innocent victim, or will its next owner be prepared to face the Oni's wrath? The Oni's shape-shifting ability symbolizes the fluidity of human nature, highlighting how our darker tendencies can masquerade as something harmless before unleashing terror. The Oni's shape-shifting ability also reflects our deep-seated fears of the natural world, showcasing how the seemingly innocent can turn deadly. The frog to Oni transformation embodies our primal fear of being consumed by forces beyond our control, echoing the terror of being vulnerable in the face of nature's power. The tree itself can symbolize the connection between life and death, a gateway to hidden knowledge. It represents growth, but also the potential for decay. The journal serves as a symbol of forbidden knowledge, tempting seekers with truths that may lead to their downfall. Only that the Oni's dark energy symbolizes the destructive force within ourselves, waiting to be unleashed. In the shadows, the Oni waits, a constant reminder of the darkness that lies within. Its legacy whispers tales of terror, forever etched in the hearts who dare to listen. Thank you for joining me this Halloween night. I hope you enjoyed the story of the Oni, and stay spooky, trick-or-treaters!